Why hiring for cultural fit is a mistake. Hiring employees based on cultural fit rather than their technical skills is common nowadays. It fits well the general mistrust that people have in professionals. As it is highest level, cultural fit refers to ensuring that an employee's values aligns with those of the organization, and that person will not engage in behaviors that are detrimental to the morale and productivity of other employees. However, the standard is not particularly high. So in this episode, we will be talking about how hiring for cultural fit is a mistake. For more episodes, please subscribe and like our channel and press the bell icon for notifications. The actual issue associated with hiring for cultural fit is that the importance of good cultural match is often overstated. At worst, it can harm diversity, professionalism, and merit. Picking someone you would like to have a beer with is commonly used as a code for this. Unfortunately, not everyone enjoys alcoholic beverages, and not everyone has personal life that allows them to unwind with a few drinks after work. Multiple studies have shown that two common hiring practices, cultural fit and diversity, can work against one another. So why hiring for cultural fit is so hard? Finding candidates for the right cultural fit for your team is the top hiring challenge, according to employers. However, when we ask hiring manager as they see this as a challenge, one common misconception is that they must be excellent at reading people in interviews to determine cultural fit. This is helped by a large number of articles circulating on platforms like LinkedIn from people claiming to be expert in determining top performers in an interview. However, we believe that significant part of the problem is that hiring managers are unclear about the culture that candidates must fit into. That's the unconscious bias to consider. It does not take much for the wrong candidate to win over a manager. Perhaps they appeared eager, which the manager mistook for motivation to do the job. Perhaps they reminded the manager of themselves. Employing people who are good fit for your company's cultural demands and cultural maturity. When an organization hires employees based on how well they fit with the company's culture, they assume that the company has reached a certain degree of cultural maturity, which includes a significant amount of awareness and training. The truth of the situation, however, is that only roughly 2 employees out of every 10 firmly agree that they feel connected to their organization's culture. Moreover, it is difficult to hire people who are good fit for the culture of the business when the firm's desired value system, beliefs, and behaviors are merely aspirational rather than lived and performed. The fact that decision makers themselves are not always fit to the intended culture makes it difficult, since it gives them the impression that the process is hypocritical and gives the impression that the selection decisions are not genuine. Furthermore, the rise of remote and hybrid work environment has challenged the prospect of cultural addition in the future. A significant proportion of workers' contact now comes largely from technological means. Cultural addition, or rethinking the concept of culture fit, could be the solution components. For example, instead of making hiring decisions that create a culture of uniformity and familiarity, the culture encourages hiring decisions that focus on candidates' distinctive and advantageous characteristics, values, beliefs, and behaviors. This enables organizations to add value elements to their culture that it currently lacks. Culture addition recognizes that the company's culture continuously evolves while praising the value of variety. But on the other hand, the essential requirement for businesses to be aware of the role they are employing and why those roles are important. The best hiring procedures consider cultural demands, value systems, technical skills, and the qualities and behaviors of role-specific talent responsible for great performance. So, how do you overcome unconscious bias and find culturally compatible candidates? Define your culture first. According to the Harvard Business Review, cultural fit is a likelihood that someone will reflect on and or be able to adapt to the organization's core beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. Different people in your organization will certainly have different ideas about the culture. You may also discover that your organizational and team culture are fundamentally opposed. There are numerous methods for developing a better definition of your culture, ranging from simple team meetings to surveys, assessments, and talent analytics based on data from across the organization. One of the ways to define your culture is by exploring the behavioral traits of your employees, and secondly, looking at how they are rewarded and recognized. Use psychological assessment. While these are good places to start, hiring managers will still lack objective data to determine whether a candidate is cultural fit without the right tools and expertise. Assessment tools are intended to tap into candidates' motivation, preferences, and tendency to compare them to the organization's culture. It's not uncommon for hiring managers to say they had a gut feeling a candidate wasn't right for the job, and then the assessment proves it. For example, two candidates who are both sociable but express it differently could be considered. One candidate may prefer to chat with their coworkers every morning as they work, whereas the other one may prefer to work hard and socialize with their coworkers after their work is completed. The two candidates' different working styles and motivations will most likely affect the team and the organization. Psychological assessments have been used at the end of the hiring process, but there is a missed opportunity in not using this information much earlier. Ideally, you should assess candidates for cultural fit throughout the process, beginning with the phone screening, continuing through the assessment, interviews, and reference checks. Hiring is no longer a guessing game when you understand your company's culture and what you are looking for. Knowledge, as for the saying, is power. In this case, understanding cultural fit gives you and your team more power. Use motivation and behavior indicating questions. As companies recognize the importance of hiring for cultural fit, questions designed to assess candidates' tendencies and motivation are becoming more common during interviews. The majority of these questions revolve around asking a candidate what they would do in various situations, as well as exploring what they like and why. For example, what has been your most preferred reward and recognition initiatives over the last 5 years at your workplace? While this does not completely eliminate unconscious bias, it does allow you to delve deeper into your candidates' motivations, behaviors, and values rather than just their experience. Conclusion: what do we predict? Instead of concentrating on how well a culture fit for you, think about how rich the culture is. Instead of hiring people similar to you in terms of their cultural background, educational attainment, or life choices, you should look for people whose personal values are congruent with the organization. In other words, businesses would benefit from abandoning efforts to assimilate new hires into the existing company culture. Instead, they should attribute to company culture by adapting hiring procedures to better reflect employees' skills, interests, and aspirations. That's all for today's episode. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe and like our channel. It will allow the algorithm to promote our channel. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.